Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Hyperactive Conservative. It is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. We want to welcome each and every single one of you to our stream this morning as we start to talk about some conservative issues, conservative talking points, and issues that really affect everyone. So welcome, everyone, to the show today. Terry Shope, Anita Dakin. Make sure you share, like, and invite your friends right now. You can start a watch party and just double the viewership. So we would greatly appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up and hit share right now. That will greatly be appreciated, and I'll give you a great big hand clap of praise for that. How's that sound if I can get this to work? A hand clap of praise. Oh, it is a great Tuesday morning. A little gloomy here in Franklin, Ohio, but nonetheless, a day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to start off the day with what we like to call the crazy Corona news. Yeah, baby. We got a bunch of crazy memes for you today, that is for sure, on the Hyperactive Conservative. Let's see, what do we got going right now? Oh, you know what we've got going? I am watching the incorrect live stream. So we're going to bring that up right away, right now. There we are. Let's click to enlarge that. Pardon that for just a second. Yeah, there we go. So now we can invite some friends. Let's do that right away. We're going to invite Anita and Terry and other folks who like to normally tune in. Here we go. Let's see. Let's go with Terry. There we go. That'll be a good start. Hey, Tia, thanks for tuning in, sis. Glad you're here. Look what I got, Tia. Just for you, my coffee makes me poop mug. I love it. I use it every day. Best gift anyone could ever receive, ever. Hey, Anita, thanks for tuning in. Let's get right to the memes, guys. I know you enjoy these, so we want to talk about them right off the bat on the Hyperactive Conservative. Fear of Corona is on the decline. Release the murder hornets. Have you heard about the murder hornets? They're like this big and they'll kill you. One sting will kill you. Anyway, they're destroying all the honeybees and it's just a horrible thing. The apocalypse is coming. First the corona, now we've got killer hornets. Speaking of them, this little graph shows murder hornet deaths. If we do nothing is the red curve, but the blue mitigates it and has us homebound for the next 4 months. We don't want to die from murder hornet deaths. Yes, good morning, Ange. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you're with us today. 70 people died in Chicago today from coronavirus complicated by bullet holes. Oh my gosh, that deserves the humorous laugh of the day. Yeah, you know, they just account anything for coronavirus deaths now, even bullet holes. The WHO, WHO, World Health Organization, and CDC now recommend that we all wear blindfolds along with our masks to protect us from seeing what's really going on. Love that. Finally, this great picture from Centerville, Ohio. This is the line that was going into Bill's Donuts on Sunday. Look at that, all the way down the block. I don't know if you can see the building way off in the left-hand corner of the picture there, but this really doesn't even fully show the huge block-long line that was getting donuts on Sunday at Bill's. So excited to see Bill's is back in business. Yet we can still only have 10 people in church. Isn't that kind of ironic? I think it is. Well, we're going to get right into the news today. I've got lots of breaking stories to share on the Hyperactive Conservative. Yes, indeed. Matter of fact, we're going to start off with some news from Fox News today. Fox News is reporting that former counselor Ken Starr, independent counselor during the 90s, you might remember him, a part of the Clinton investigations. He reacted on Monday to the shocking revelations about the FBI's handling of the investigation into the then National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, saying that they show that the Bureau's senior leaders were out to get Flynn and the Trump administration, meaning the FBI was corrupt. I think that this is all about the President of the United States and the effort to obstruct the administration and the effort to do everything they could to make the path forward for the President of the United States, including the Russia investigation, as difficult as possible, said Starr to Fox News on Monday. It was very, very immoral and unethical, he said. Well, documents unsealed last Wednesday show the Bureau officials discussed their motivations for interviewing Flynn at the White House in January of 2017, with one note questioning whether the goal of the investigators was to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or even get him fired. Lots going on with the FBI, and Jim Comey is right at the center of all of it. Pretty interesting information from Fox News today. Moving on, Republicans demand interviews with FBI's Priestap and Pientka after bombshell Michael Flynn revelations took place. On Monday, they demanded that the FBI Director Christopher Wray provide a slew of information after last week's bombshell revelations in the case of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. And the lawmakers are specifically seeking to question a mysterious FBI agent by the name of Joe Pientka, who participated in the January 2017 White House interview that led to Flynn's prosecution. Fox News has previously determined that Pientka was also intimately involved in the probe of former Trump aide Carter Page, which the DOJ has since acknowledged was riddled with fundamental errors and premised on a discredited dossier that the Bureau was told could be part of a Russian disinformation campaign. Of course, that dossier was paid for by Hillary Clinton and, in fact, was just a made-up bunch of lies. Pientka was conspicuously removed from the FBI's website after Fox News contacted the FBI about his extensive role. A change first noticed by Twitter user TechnoFog, but sources say Pientka remains in a senior role at the agency's San Francisco field office. The FBI, speaking to Fox News last December, asserted that the reporting on Pientka's identity would potentially endanger his life and would serve no legitimate journalistic purpose. Okay, well, if he is lying and a part of a huge campaign to disperse Trump's election, then he is fair game, FBI. Republicans have previously sought to question Pientka. However, beginning in 2018, on Monday, the FBI declined to provide any additional information. Hey, Ange, good morning. You love Bill's Donuts. Who doesn't love Bill's Donuts? My goodness, those rock. I personally like you can get like 2 dozen donut holes for like $1 something there. It is amazing. Oh, love them hot now, even though it's not, Krispy Kreme. It's better than Krispy Kreme. Moving on, another report stating that Sean Hannity's message on his show the other night was to warn Michigan protesters a show of force is dangerous and it puts our police at risk. This is totally the truth. Sean Hannity, he criticized armed protesters who demonstrated against Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer's stay-at-home orders last week outside of the Michigan Capitol building, saying that they were not helping their cause. It is our right to carry guns in public. However, displaying this and kind of trying to scare the government is not a good way to approach this situation. I'm the #1 supporter, Sean said on radio and television, that I know of on First Amendment and Second Amendment rights. Now, no one is a bigger defendant of the Second Amendment than yours truly, Hannity said Monday night on his television program. Everyone has the right to protest, protect themselves, and try to get the country open, the host said, as video rolled of Thursday's protest in Lansing. This, with the militia look here and these long guns, no show of force. No, he says. A show of force is dangerous that puts our police at risk. And by the way, your message will never be heard, whoever you people are. No one should be attempting to intimidate officials with a show of force. This is what I agree with. I don't agree with not being able to carry your guns in public. I totally believe that you should do that. But to show them in some sort of intimidating fashion to the government never will turn out good. Just look at Waco and what happened. Whitmer slammed the protesters on Sunday, saying that they represented the worst racism in awful parts of U.S. history. I think I have some video of this to share with you today. Let's see what we got. Maybe. Perhaps not. Let me see if I can get this to reload. Yeah. I was just going to play an ad. Anyway, lots of folks on the steps of the Capitol building in Michigan with long guns showing some intimidating force to the government. Well, let me tell you, the government has way more guns than any militia group. That's for sure. Meanwhile, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, our favorite governor here, he said that we're being obnoxious, those protesters, about the coronavirus response after clashes with journalists last week. Governor DeWine said, you should come after me. Don't go after people who are exercising their First Amendment rights that we value in this country so very much. Well, Mike, this is free speech. It's not just the press that has those rights, Mike DeWine, but we, the public, have our right to speak. Reporters and photographers, he said, who do nothing more than following that First Amendment, informing the public. Just remember, they're informing the public about what you think. I have my own thoughts, Mike DeWine. I don't need the reporters to tell me about what I think. He's got a little confusion going on. I think he's hanging out with too many liberals like Amy Acton. The Ohio Republicans' remarks came after demonstrators gathered over the weekend outside the State House in Columbus. At one point, a protester outside the building confronted a masked reporter from Columbus station WCMH-TV who was covering the demonstration, telling the reporter that she was terrifying the general public. DeWine also slammed a group of protesters who gathered outside Ohio Department of Health Director Dr. Amy Acton's home over the weekend. He said, I'm the elected official. I'm the one who ran for office. I'm the one who makes the policy decisions. Members of my cabinet, Dr. Acton included, work exceedingly hard, but I set the policies. Well, then why does Amy Acton have the authority to close down, say, barbers and hairstylists, but not abortion clinics? If that's the case, Mike DeWine, I would say you're giving her way too much authority, and you aren't taking authority as the governor yourself. He repeated, so when you don't like the policy again, you can demonstrate against me. That's certainly fair game, he added. But to bother the family of Dr. Acton, I don't think that's fair game. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's necessary to get your point across. You don't think it's necessary to get our point across, Governor DeWine? We are your constituents. You serve us. And you appointed a liberal abortionist as your Department of Health doctor, and frankly gave her authorities which she was never elected to do. Just burns me up, guys. Really does. Meanwhile, a Massachusetts golf course owner is going to defy the state's lockdown and reopen for business. In defiance of a statewide ban on golfing implemented by Republican Governor Charlie Barker in Massachusetts there, Kara Cullen, the owner and manager of the Wachusett Country Club and the Kettlebrook Golf Club in central Massachusetts, closed down her golf course back in March as they fell under the non-essential businesses lockdown guidelines in hopes of combating the coronavirus outbreak. On March 31st, now listen to this, guys. On March 31st, Colin's mother-in-law was one of the first people to pass away from the virus in Massachusetts. She says, "I do know how serious this is," Colin told Fox News. "I don't think this is a hoax. I think it's serious. And my 4 children never saw their grandmother again, and I haven't been able to properly grieve, so I do recognize how real the virus is. However, 5 weeks have passed since Colin was forced to shut down her golf courses, which had been financially devastating between the 2 businesses. She roughly oversees 30 full-time employees and as many as 60 part-time employees who work at property restaurants and banquet halls, telling Fox News she pretty much let all of them go, and that has been even her brothers who are mowing the grass and maintaining the courses. Baker initially set a target date for golf courses to reopen on May 4th, but was then delayed to May 18th. It was the governor's recent rollout of an advisory board for businesses and state officials to form a plan to reopen the local economy. Something Colin believes may be too little too late for her struggling business. Listen to this. "Why wasn't the board formulated 5 weeks ago?" Colin asked. "To me, that's a delay tactic. It's a political tactic just to appease me. Basically, for 5 weeks, I sat by watching my family business get destroyed while thousands of golfers have crossed the borders to go to Connecticut and New York, which is causing huge safety concerns. There's like 47 states that have opened their golf courses, but not opening golf courses actually created a more hazardous condition here in Massachusetts." Colin accused Baker of taking care of big business instead of small ones like hers, pointing to Walmart, where 81 employers were previously tested positive of having the coronavirus, but the store is set to reopen within days after a thorough cleaning, while her business remained closed. Favoritism, guys, for big business, while little business, small businesses, are taking the brunt of the shutdowns. Moving on. California Governor Gavin Newsom has denied a public records request from the Los Angeles Times seeking details into nearly a $1 billion deal for protective masks from a Chinese car manufacturer. Newsom's office has been criticized over the lack of transparencies into the contract for weeks, and the latest refusal will likely raise even more suspicions. The paper reported that his office has insisted that disclosures into the deal, which stands for Build Your Dreams, could jeopardize the mask delivery. Publishing the agreement now before performance under the contract is complete would introduce substantial and unnecessary risk to the state's ability to secure necessary supplies. Ryan Grosky, an attorney with the governor's Office of Emergency Service, wrote to the Times. Last month, Newsom, a Democrat, told MSNBC's Rachel Maddow that Sacramento had just inked a deal to buy 200 million masks monthly, which was considered at the time to be a massive haul amid the international scramble for protective gear needed in the fight against the coronavirus. He didn't disclose that the $1 billion deal was with a Chinese company. Buy American, guys. Buy American. The Chinese messed us over, and he's buying masks from them? $1 billion worth. Of course, because he's a Democratic liberal. Let me make this a little bit larger so you can see the headline, okay? In Flint, Michigan, a woman, her adult son, and husband have been charged in the fatal shooting of a security guard who refused to let her daughter enter a Family Dollar store in Michigan because she wasn't wearing a face mask to protect against transmission of the coronavirus. Calvin Mullerin was shot on Friday at the store just north of downtown Flint a short time after telling Shamil Teague's was the name, Shamil Teague's daughter, that she had to leave because she lacked a mask, according to Genesee County Prosecutor David Linton. Teague, 45, argued with Munnerlin, 43 years old, before leaving. 2 men later came back to the store. Teague, her husband Larry Teague, and another man are charged with first-degree premeditated murder and gun charges as they shot the dollar store worker to death because he told their daughter that she had to wear a mask. What do you think of that? Meanwhile, Kansas City mayor defends Nazi-like policy registering people attending church. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas is under fire for a new order requiring churches and other businesses to register anyone who spends more than 10 minutes inside of their building. Talk about an overreach. A conservative law firm is calling a new order in Kansas City Nazi-like for requiring churches to surveil, track, and spy on anyone who attends an in-person service. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas issued the 10-10 rule in effect May 5th, ordering that non-essential businesses like churches can only have 10 people inside and 50 people outside as long as they practice social distancing. They must also record the information of anyone who spends more than 10 minutes inside. Can you imagine? These liberals want so much control, they're actually sitting outside churches with a little pad of paper writing down, "Oh, John Gale went into church. He was there for 12 minutes before he left on May 5th. In addition, non-essential businesses can operate at 10% maximum capacity. 10%. The order states that by recording names and contact information, the health department will be able to more quickly trace, test, and isolate individuals who may have been exposed to COVID-19. Anyone who doesn't provide that information won't be allowed in. No ticky, no washi. Attorney General Bill Barr's Justice Department is looking into the matter, according to Staver, who threatened legal action if the policy doesn't change. The DOJ recently sided with a Virginia church suing Governor Ralph Northam after police threatened a pastor with jail time or a $2,500 fine for violating an executive order and holding a 16-person church service on Palm Sunday. It's happening everywhere, guys. Our religious freedoms are being taken advantage of during this pandemic. Well, the Constitution doesn't say that just because there's a pandemic, your constitutional rights can be shelved for just a little while. No, it goes on during any pandemic. A U.S. district judge ruled on Sunday that Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's stay-at-home order is constitutional. The decision came the same day that the Beloved Church of Lena, these are the pastors here, Pastor Steve and Kay Castle of the Beloved Church, an evangelical church located about 50 miles west of Rockford, they defied the coronavirus lockdown to welcome more than 100 worshipers for a Sunday service. Conservative law firm Thomas More Society filed a complaint on behalf of the church as well as its pastor last week, seeking a temporary restraining order and injunction to resume in-person worship services with its usual 800 congregants. The Chicago Sun-Times reported it was the first major challenge to the governor's stay-at-home order in a federal court in Illinois. In a 37-page decision, Judge J.Z. Lee of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, given the continuing threat posed by COVID-19, the stay-at-home order preserves relatively robust avenues for praise, prayer, and fellowship, and passes constitutional muster. Though Lee, who was nominated by President Obama, denied the church its temporary restraining order, its Sunday service was carried out without police intervention, the Times reported. So the police didn't do anything to enforce Judge Lee's decision. Pritzker had revised his stay-at-home order by Thursday evening, classifying some worship services as essential and promoting the free exercise of religion so long as gatherings don't exceed more than 10 people and congregants adhere to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's social distancing guidelines to keep at least 6 feet apart. Meanwhile, I was at Walmart in Middletown last night, and I saw on the front door that there could be 1,100 people in that building at any given moment. They have little signs and stickies on the floor that tell you to go down this aisle and down that aisle. And it was so strange. No one was complying. And I would say a good 70% of the people there were wearing masks, but at least 30% were not, including some of the workers that I noted yesterday. So Walmart can have 1,000 people in its building, but no church can have more than 10. What's that about? Meanwhile, Representative Tim Ryan wants to give Americans $2,000 per month. The only thing that would cost more is to do nothing, he said. The federal government has spent trillions of dollars to help dull the economic pain from the coronavirus pandemic, but Representative Tim Ryan, a Democrat from Ohio, claims it's not enough to stabilize the economy, and he wants to see monthly payments of $2,000 a month to most Americans until the crisis begins to fade. $24,000 a year, a lot more than a lot of part-time people actually make. I think this is the best way to stabilize the economy and make sure that everyone is paying their mortgage, paying their credit cards, paying their personal loans. Why don't we just put all those payments on hold and forget giving handouts to everyone? Because you know what you do when you create handouts? You create a welfare state. Dr. Ryan, that's what you create. People who get handouts for free don't want to work because big government will take care of them, and I know that's just what you want. Ryan acknowledged that while his proposal would cost the government possibly trillions of dollars per month, continued inaction would come at a far greater cost. People say, well, that's a lot of money, and I say you're absolutely right. The only thing that would cost more is to do nothing and let us move from a deep recession into a depression. Open up the economy. Let people buy things. Let people be safe, wear their masks, and practice social distancing, and take risks. Terry Chope says he's still waiting on his $1,200. We got ours right away. We did it as soon as they announced it. Got online and did that, or filled out some paperwork. Sherry did it. Oh my goodness, this just angers me so greatly. We saw that one. We reported on the pastor and Tim Ryan. Let's move on to our next. Oh, you're going to dig this one. A woman has been arrested on a licking spree. Yeah, you heard right. Sumter, South Carolina woman who allegedly licked her hands and touched food items. There she is in the photo. At several South Carolina grocery stores and sandwich shops has been arrested. Shanier Gibson Holiday was taken into custody Saturday after Sumter police responded to reports of a suspicious person at an IGA grocery store. Police said surveillance footage from the store showed Holiday, 38 years old, licking her hands and coughing before touching food items and freezer doors. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with you? She's being held at a detention center for a $100,000 bond. What a piece of work. What a piece of work today. Finally, our last story. Gun sales amidst coronavirus pandemic have spiked 71% just in April alone. Gun sales in April spiked more than 70% from the previous year, with the purchase of more than 1.7 million firearms as concerns related to the coronavirus continued. Recently released statistics show an estimated 1,797,910 guns were sold in April of 2020, a 71.3% increase from April of 2019. March saw an even higher surge in sales, with 2,583,238 firearms sold, or 85.3% from the previous year. Every month it's going up. Well, you know, that seems to me like even the liberals might be buying weapons. I wonder why that is. I thought they're so anti-gun. 85.3% increase in March. 2.5 million firearms sold. Data released late Monday from Small Arms Analytics and Forecasting. Data indicates a surge in handgun use over long gun purchases, a group spokesman said. Now, should we take those guns and go protest with them, you know, loaded, handling them on the courthouse steps? I don't think it's a real good idea. I think you can get your position across just by the show of numbers. You don't need to have your weapons. You can have them with you, but I don't think you need to be brandishing them. Of course, we are free to carry our weapons in the state of Ohio wherever we go. I'm kind of conflicted about it, I have to say. I really am a little bit conflicted. because I'm a big gun guy. I have weapons. I shoot them regularly. I practice safety and protection. But I don't think, Terry says, I don't think it's a good thing. I agree with you. Because what happens if if some wacko starts firing a weapon on the Capitol steps of the building here in Columbus, Ohio, and somebody gets killed, or all of a sudden you got the police going crazy, shooting people? I mean, I'm telling you what, it could escalate into a horrible situation. And then from there, you know what happens? A confiscation, right? They'll start to say, no weapons allowed. No weapons allowed. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's edition of the Hyperactive Conservative. I so much appreciate each and every single one of you watching daily. Please share it and let other people know about it. We're trying to grow our group of individuals watching, grow our subscribers. We've been adding subscribers every single day to the Facebook page. You can like, share, and follow us real easy by just hitting that thumbs up. If you hit follow, you'll get notifications every single time we load up a video. And of course, sharing that goes on your page and shows others that you are sharing today's broadcast. And also, you can watch us now. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. It's a simple way to find us. All you got to do is search for the Hyperactive Conservative, and you'll find us. You can hit the red subscribe button and pretty much get notifications that way too. Watch all of our videos on YouTube and Facebook anytime, and make sure that you wash your hands today before you touch your face. That's going to be it for today's edition. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Take care. Bye-bye.